This is the K-Pop Cast, and in this week's episode, we're doing a deep dive into NCT's Mark 1999, title track off of his debut album, First Fruit.
We also share hit replays from 20 and XG, but before we get into that and all of the topics we're going to discuss, don't forget to join the K-Pop Cast listener fam on Slack and help chip in for our show costs. Links, of course, in the episode description.
And now for hit replays. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm your PD-nim, Michaela, guys. And hit replays are, of course, our K-pop song recommendations for the week. So, Stephanie, kick us off. What is your not very surprising hit replay this week? I was looking, I was like, how many times have we talked about them? And it was like, oh.
Yeah. So in a surprise that comes to no one, my hit replay is XG's new release, In the Rain. In the rain. See me, I'm like body rolling.
I know, right? You say that and I'm just like, in the rain, in the rain, in the rain.
Yes, so catchy, so understated and simple, especially compared to the bombastic EDM heavy, the bops. Yeah, the visuals, seizure-inducing stuff they've been putting out, which they are great at that too. And right. Yes, In the Rain has an EDM remix already released. That one's really good as well. But I appreciate that they're taking it back to basics, taking it back to their roots. If you recall, their debut track, Tippy Toes, was also a like R&B choreo focused. Looks like it was taken in a single take, filmed in a single take, like just a bare bones performance. And so I kind of like that they're going back to that for this, showing us what they can do in an understated fashion. Very Michael Jackson inspired. The ladies are all dressed up in suits and hats that they tip forward, and they keep it real smooth. So as a R&B fan for life, this one tickles my fancy. Right.
Love XG. And I love a good prop dance too. Like the way that they use the umbrellas in the performance, and like, because you mentioned like it's understated, but there are still these like very like really cool elements that they're doing that almost make it like a full theater production. Like the way that they're shooting things, how they're actually dancing in water, the way each of them come in and out, and the way everything is lit, very like, so you can only see like a little bit of what's in the middle of the screen.
True.
Like it is understated, but they're still doing very like really cool production things with this music video.
Yes, exactly. Like I'm sure this one took a lot of money and a lot of effort in the production, and it's not supposed to look like it's going over the top,
right?
Like oversaturated maximalist, like is the intention of the other videos. So I hear what you're saying, and I appreciate that angle,
right?
And so for something that is maybe saturated a little more with color and other things, let's head to your hit replay.
We now head to the sensory overload, literally.
Yes.
hitting all the senses. Another not very surprising hit replay from me, especially if you're in our Slack, know, of course, of that From 20 has recently made a solo comeback with his song Eye Candy.
It's a red and bold, golden candy cane, $1 million flavor. Goddamn, girls and boys love the candy. Suck it, lick it, taste me, baby. This free bucket, you want the me. Eye candy, candy, candy. Girls and boys love the candy. Suck it, lick it, taste me, baby. This free bucket, you want the me. Eye candy, candy, candy.
this is about.
I know, right? Like, yeah. So Kim Rae Hwan from 20, he is the founder of Way. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Kim Rae Hwan, aka From 20. Again, if you're in our Slack, you know who this is. But for the people that don't know, he's the founder of Way Better Entertainment with Hello Gloom, the another soloist we love. And he basically has created Way Better as basically hot boy entertainment. Like he is, and that is exactly what he is serving in this release in this music video. Just unfettered. I am the eye candy. I feel very called out by the fact that there are these like eye tracking graphics when he's shirtless. Where it's like, but again, he's just going all in on this kind of like I am a hot boy. I'm gonna be a hot boy, but I'm also your hot boy. So I'm not just eye candy for myself. I'm doing it for the people. I'm giving the people what they want. Yeah.
Isn't he like distributing fruits and veggies?
Yes, exactly. Like sharing.
He's part of a balanced
for people
breakfast.
from all walks of life, all ages, all colors, all.
Yep. Exactly. The first person you see is a black girl.
Oh yeah. And then, so we do have to talk about in kind of the concept for this music video, he talked about like early 2000s, 90s hip hop as being a big inspiration. You know, like taking it to the candy shop, like, and he's wearing do-rags in the concept photos. And then he's wearing a do-rag in the music video, and the styling is very like, you know,
there's various bandanas,
fashion,
scarves,
bandanas, baggy, all that. And so obviously, you know, as netizens do, they took to the internet and told him what they thought about that. And in response, he actually released this very, it's something that's very hard to do. He released basically a statement that talking about like how he sincerely apologizes for anybody who was hurt by the fact that he was wearing a do-rag in the music video, and that moving forward, especially as an artist, he wants to continue to respect, listen, and specifically learn from all the things that he's been hearing from fans. And I think that really kind of reflects how the video, the K-pop idol learns about cultural appropriation video that he put out.
Right, that's
really,
what caught my eye.
He in that video you do see him, you know, learning and listening, and I think it definitely is a breath of fresh air from especially the discourse that we had last week, where we had idols just throwing out the N-word and you know, going on live stream and acting like they were being shamed and made to feel belittled by the fact that people were trying to express their emotions to him, you know.
Talking about Big Matthew over here.
We're talking about BM. Yeah, so it was
people
just
with no excuse.
Despite being jaded fans like we are about this whole discourse, it was still great to see him execute it well, and in such a way that felt genuine, I think.
Yeah, there's little glimmers of hope among the chaos,
just a little bit,
you know. And we're still fans of From 20 here, and look forward to the fruits of his learning.
And so moving on to another very hot solo comeback from last week, actually. We are talking about and deep diving into Mark Lee's first solo album, First Fruit, and the title track, 1999.
Tell us a little bit about Mr. Lee.
Well, Marcus Lee, he was born August 2nd, 1999 in Toronto, Canada. He is known as the backbone of NCT, the backbone of maybe like the whole K-pop industry as a whole, and just how prolific and hardworking he is in the industry. Like,
yeah, we were talking about 10 last week being, hardest working man in SM, but yeah, Mark is up there too. He's a part of so many groups.
So many groups. He's debuted at least 4 or 5 times. His first initial debut was in 2016 with NCTU as part of the 7 Sense crew of the first 5 members of NCT. Then he debuted again in NCT 127, and then again in NCT Dream, and then again in Super M, and finally as a soloist in 2022 with a single child. And now about 10 years or so later, we get his first solo album work with The First Fruit. And so this is having a career of a lot of resets. Hopefully this is he's kind of pitching this as his kind of final reset, and also a project where he really gets to express and figure out who he really is as a person and as an artist. And hopefully, being able to share his learning process with people, and then maybe they can learn about themselves through this album. And it's very, very personal, very autobiographical.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised about how personal and vulnerable it seemed, that he's speaking about where he grew up and family and his faith, and that it wasn't just and we love a bombastic pop debut, right? Or like hip hop bangers. We love that. And there's a couple of those. There's a little rapping here, but there's a lot of more soft spoken, reflective pieces in the album.
Yeah. And especially when compared to, because he's only the 5th NCT member to officially make a solo debut.
Wow, really?
Right. And so and really just compared to, what Ten has done, what Taeyong, Doyoung, Jaehyun has done, it really does stand out how open he has been about his faith, one, and how core that has been to this album, and even having his mom on this album as
a
part
recording
of
his mom. Like
it's so refreshingly vulnerable, and in just comparison to sort of the things that we've seen from the other NCT members so far.
Yeah, so the album name First Fruit actually comes from Proverbs chapter 3 verse 9 in the Bible, honoring God with the first fruits of your success.
With this being poignant. the first solo, the first kind of moment of him becoming like an artist in the industry on his own. Yeah.
This is so hard for me to believe that this is his first album.
Right.
I feel like we have been seeing him for a decade.
Over a decade, because even thinking about the pre-debut stuff, like even
the rookie stuff,
in seeing him in EXO's stuff, seeing him in that ABC interview when they were going through SM Entertainment, like even before, like he's somebody who's just, you would think would be established already with the kind of the years and the experience that he's pushed in. So it's just so interesting that this is again his first.
Yeah, and. Like maybe you were more plugged into this than me, but how do you think SM approached the promotions for this? Did they drum up a lot the do you think, or was it more of a silent soft launch
this has been a lot of buzz. I mean, we started with the pre-release songs 2000 and Fraxi last year. Fraxi featuring Lee Young-ji. So this has been about almost a year of rollout for this whole performance, and then also, or for this whole album. And then what was it, the fact that this was actually supposed to come out in February but they pushed it to April just to make sure that, according to them, to make sure that the quality was as best as it could be. I also maybe think that they were avoiding some of the other albums that had been coming out around that time. But I don't doubt that they were,
smart.
Taking time to make sure that everything was lining up, and this was the perfect first album for literally their most important
the
third gen backbone idol.
Yes. Yeah.
because it's never been a surprise that SM loves Mark Lee
Oh my gosh, yeah.
with
He's
how much
always in
they
the
make
center.
him do.
Yeah, right. They put him to work. All right, everybody. So we are about to react to Mark Lee's 1999 music video by all watching it at the same time. Feel free to press play. Once we start watching, I'm going to give a countdown, 1, 2, 3, play, and then you press play along with us. Are we ready?
Ready.
1, 2, 3, play. All right, I'm already looking for Easter eggs from past songs, and
Right.
I was surprised with the orchestra here being the
Right. It's
introduction.
so it sets it up to be such a different song.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, orchestra. Look at his fashion, y'all.
Right.
The floor length robe. Come on. I love that hair on him too. He unplugged his own. He looks good.
There's a lot of like Men in Black.
Men in
kind
Black,
of
yeah, that was
vibe.
definitely Men
Yeah.
in Black. Some surrealist stuff going on here.
Mm-hmm. I love the little. You see, he's holding a watermelon. That's a callback to like an NCT meme.
Yeah.
This is one
The
of those.
Michael Jackson reference.
Yeah. I love a line dance. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I like that. Kiga makin.
Right.
I'm really enjoying his laid back rap flow.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I come to Mark for, to be honest. All right, total switch up here. Now he's leading a revolution all of a sudden.
Right. Is it against the alien takeover? Like
I don't know, man. Is he just playing around, or is he a hacker helping the revolution?
Mhm.
Yeah, all these different alter egos. Everybody has a role to play.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring it back.
New York, Canada, hockey. Boom. Did Mark actually play hockey growing up? Or is he just...
I think so. I mean, he's Canadian. I think it's all just Canada.
Does everyone do that in Canada?
Yeah. Hey, we're in Canada.
Let us know in the
hockey.
Slack. Woo. Love this part of the dance. 90s inspired moves.
Mhm.
And 90s technology. Joysticks. Hey. Haha, but it was all just a movie that he filmed. Or was it? Yeah, this is what I love too. Little blooper clips. Nice. All right, we'll end it there.
Love it.
How do we feel? I'm seeing a big smile on PD-nim's face.
The biggest smile. I think
Yeah.
we talked about this in our call about if we were going to talk about this album or not. And I remember when I first kind of was starting to listen through the album, I wasn't necessarily sold on it yet. It wasn't like 100% Daebak, but then especially after like sitting down and listening to the whole thing, I came around to 1999. Like it's I get now why it's had to be the title track, and I appreciate it more. Like I see all the good things that Mark does, like in his vocalizations, like the story that he's telling, all the Easter eggs in the music video.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you to all the other N citizens that helped me like realize all the ones that I missed.
Oh yes, can always rely on N citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm smiling too at the end of that. He just seems so earnest, sincere, and also like swagged out.
Yeah,
and dramatic.
Yeah,
he's special. And you can see that.
And I'll be honest, like as somebody who had bias blindness when I first got into
bias
NCT,
blindness,
I did like I had that with Chanwoo and I had it with Mark Lee. It wasn't really until even like our Slack channel, really, like we have so many Mark Lee fans in our Slack.
Who is your first bias in NCT?
Oh, Do Young.
Oh, Do Young. Yeah, that's right. I remember.
Yeah, Do Young is my first bias, and so you know, every time we would have a new member in the Slack, it was like, hey, Mark Lee is like my favorite. Mark Lee is the best. Mark Lee is like the guy. And I was like, oh, is he? And then now,
is he the guy?
Is he the guy?
Let me give him a second look.
And I see it now. I'm so sorry I'd been blind for so many years.
But now I see.
I see
it is Mark Lee. Yeah. Mark is definitely, a bias wrecker, bias breaker, whatever you want to call it. You cannot deny his magnetism, his talent, and why they put him in the front like all the time. Yeah, NCT wouldn't be who they are without him.
Nope.
Yeah.
But
getting into this song specifically, the theme of this one is it's basically Mark making his entrance, making a splash on the scene, on the world. There's themes of rebirth. He's saying, I feel so new, just like it's 99. And like, hey, world, listen to me. I'm here now. And that reminds us of the scene in the music video where he has the megaphone and he's up on top of the car and he's, demanding to be seen and listened to even more than he already is. And I think he's wanting to be seen more for his depth, his human side, versus just how he can dance, just how he can rap. You know,
how he can serve face, how good his butt looks in pants.
Exactly. All of that is still here, and he is, he's saying, hey, look at what else I've got going on. Look at where I've come from. Right. And I'll just say again, his rap delivery, flawless. It's clear. It's punchy. You hear every syllable he's pronouncing. He's on beat. He really skillfully adds in singing and hitting certain notes in the rap, like slowing down so that he can, climb to different vocal heights and falsetto for the hook, and then comes back down to like the dirty rap style he's got with the little smirk and the little cock of the head. You know his style. He's coming. Mm-hmm. So I just really enjoyed that.
And then whenever he gets into that lower tone, that like the grumble, like you don't necessarily, gritty, where he just he sits into that lower register of his voice, and you're just like, ooh, wait, hold on,
clutching pearls,
right?
Yeah.
Which is, and it's so, again, he's just so talented. I don't think we could stop saying this about him. He's just so talented as a rapper. But it's so funny because when he's mentioned this a lot in interviews about like when you look up his Wikipedia, it says Mark Lee from NCT rapper. But for him, he doesn't necessarily just see himself as just a talented rapper. Like he sees himself as somebody who's like an overall artist.
Yeah, and all-rounder.
Yeah. But again, he's such a good rapper though.
I know, yeah. I can't help but like look forward to the parts where he's gonna rap. I'm like, yeah,
And that's why he's such a good feature. Like he's on top of some of his few solo songs, he's also done featured on
true.
like Weinstein songs, Henry Lau, Schumann from EXO. Like he's the cherry on top to so many songs.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and just to take a quick moment to appreciate the dance as well. He's also known for his dance ability, his control, the personality he brings to it. He never looks like he is out of control or like going all out too much with his limbs or with his shapes. And especially with the point dance here, he keeps it tight and strong. Even though it's like a little shimmy with the shoulders, he makes sure to hit exactly the same angle every time. He shimmies on beat. He's sharp with it. So kind of just like his rap, actually. It's clear, it's punchy, it's tight, but also with groove. Like when he hit that Michael Jackson kick, he has studied the greats. James Brown inspired for sure. So Bruno Mars inspired for sure, right? So that was a joy to watch, especially the performance video. Thanks for sharing that in the Slack, Michaela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specifically about the performance video, there's like the intro in that video where you see him just standing in the center and then all the dancers kind of come out and like just go ham all around him.
What an entrance. Yes, I that was like Broadway status right there. So theatrical.
But that's also, Stephanie, that's actually a callback to another NCT thing.
Tell me.
So in Superhuman, there's a part in the performance where one member is standing in the middle and just doing a very simple movement. And then all the other members are literally just like bombastically freestyling around.
Yeah. I love that.
It thought about that, but then it's such a great, I think, representation of that violin string intro to the song. That's so again, so unexpected, but I think it adds to the theatricality of the whole song.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, to have that kind of choreography in the intro with like a hip hop beat gives a different impression than when you have it with violins and like no drums.
Yeah.
Right. So I thought it was really cool how in this song and actually throughout the album, the use of strings, the use of orchestral elements and how it kind of takes you out of what you're expecting. It takes you away for a moment and you're not sure where you're going. You're like, Mark, is this you? What's going on? Where are you taking me? I think I trust you.
Were we in Neo City? Why are we in Toronto? What's happening?
Yeah. He takes us around the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Specifically around the world to all the specific cities that he's grown up in, Toronto, New York, Vancouver, Seoul, and what those specific cities mean to him and his development from art, just regular dude to K-pop idol, an elementary school to a 25-year-old, like all that journey that he's gone through up till this point.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there's a song I think for each of those cities on the album, at least one.
And it's so interesting. The flight to the New York side, that's where we get Righteous and Fracti. That's where we get the most, like, I think, like hip hop and like hardcore sound is when he's an elementary school kid in New York.
Cute.
And then in Vancouver, you get Vancouver, Loser, and Watching TV with Crush. Yeah. And those are the most like emotional and like very almost sensual like songs on the album.
Yep.
Which would be like around like middle school, early high school days.
That makes sense.
And then you get 82 Present. Now we're in Seoul. Now we're here with Haechan and we're at K-pop Idol. And that's probably the most like NCT, I think, sound from this whole album is 82 Present.
I thought it was an NCT song when I first heard it. Like a group, the whole group. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 200, that one I feel like just going through the whole album at this point.
Sure.
Like it was that one where I feel like I really started to really appreciate his writing, because it was the first song that was released before we even knew that this album was going to be an album. And he talked about how it was writing that song kind of got him into a mode of like what his writing style is. And like I was very kind of confused about like what the 200 meant, because he has this line in it where he's like, when nothing adds up, I'll be your number 106 and 94, because that's like it combines to 94, but it's also like his debut date year. So I'm like, okay, so that was the first moment of like, okay, he's going to be doing something more interesting in the writing of these songs than what maybe we would just typically expect from him in just an NCT song.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm just like coming back briefly to 1999 and looking at, who produced it, who's writing it. We have Dress on here, who's a songwriter from the Black label. We have Samson, who I believe worked on Midas Touch for Kiss of Life. So it's folks who are deep in the like R&B and pop funk vibe. Yeah, I do hear some Midas Touch elements like crossing over into this one. And then we have, Shinjun, Paprika, Jonah Renna, D Cope. So like a lot of effort. Big team was working on this one, even though it has, again, it's not like a bombastic pop hip hop anthem. It has more of a overall even keeled sound, not as many like instrument and synth elements, but it has that special, unique flavor to it. Yeah, especially with the orchestral elements that we mentioned before.
That, and then also he talked about how the hook is his falsetto range most of the time.
It is.
And how that is again a pocket that he's not usually sitting in most of his vocalization. So
Usually
it was so low. Important to have it on this, because it made that song much more important and unique as a performance.
Yeah. I'm a push on that. Did we need the whole hook in his falsetto? I don't think I did.
Really?
I'm just gonna politely push on that. Did you enjoy that part?
I guess. Oh, see, now that you say that, I'm like, was that what I didn't like about it when I first heard it? It was
just putting it out there.
Oh, well.
Yeah, we don't normally hear the falsetto from him, and yeah, as I was listening to the hook, I was like, something about this, it needs work. Like compared to like Jaehyun or
right. That's a hard comparison there, though, Stephanie.
All love. But I'm like, it's bold to do a falsetto hook, man.
After he had that whole album.
Yeah. To come in after your homeboy. But yeah, like I said, it's all love here at the K-pop cast, and it's fun to see artists make like brave, unexpected choices, and like, yeah, it's his album, it's his track, go for it.
Speaking of brave, unexpected choices, Too Much is literally a gospel track.
Yep.
Isn't it, right? Because you start, with Loser and a few of the other songs like Watching TV, like those are kind of like love songs or breakup songs where he's talking about a person.
Yeah.
But in this one, he's talking about God. Like
Straight up.
He's just straight up. There's no other way you can interpret that song.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Have we seen that kind of track come out from an idol in one of the major labels? Like even B-sides, I'm not hearing a lot of folks go in with like their faith front and center. I mean, maybe back when we were coming up, like like Kim Bum-soo or Wee Sung would talk about like the ballad, and R&B singers would talk about that. Maybe some of the rappers. BY.
Yeah, but never idols.
Never idols.
Being very upfront about any kind of religious belief has been so taboo for such a long time, despite the fact that maybe in their personal lives or outside of their idol career, they are very like, open about their faith or very active in their church or wherever, religion that they have. There's just never wanting to have something as an identifier to cause conflict with your fans or your masses.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So this is actually pretty big, pretty bold in many ways.
I
Gospel album on the way.
I was about to say, are we? Does this
Praise dance?
Can he make it? Is this his Christian music crossover?
His crossover opportunity.
Is this the song that's gonna get him the radio play? Like,
yo, you might be right.
Right? Because I mean, it could, and especially in this broader, like, looking at this album as like his in the K-pop. It's like, again, it's cool that Mark Lee, the idol of idols, has now made a solo career in K-pop. But then you pull out and you look at the greater music industry of who Mark Lee is compared to, and what track he could also take his career, because you could see him in the same lane as Jackson Wang, Rose,
Sure.
Jenny, like all of these other people who come from the K-pop idol industry and are now making this pivot to breaking out into the broader Western market.
Yeah, I could see him doing that, and I kind of expected that. I expected more, like I said, like big hip hop, aggressive sound, or like pop anthem kind of stuff. Then again, he is a bit on the younger side compared to all those people we just listed. He's not as old as Jenny or Jackson. I wonder if he's kind of like not ready for
Not ready.
that. I don't know. He's definitely been a promising talent and he's been active for so many years. But like, what was the choice here to go with a more introspective, reflective, like, kind of reminds me of like the choice that RM made,
right,
like with his album.
right.
Like, I'm just gonna write about what I want to write about. I don't care what people know me for. But to see that coming out of someone from NCT
and from SM Entertainment,
and from SM, that is different.
So different. And
different.
SM themselves, like, you don't, if you're just looking at and thinking about all of the artists on their roster, yes, you have a lot of their K-pop idol groups that have vast international fan bases, but you don't really see them creating and developing artists that are specifically like, the idea of like the Western crossover. You know, right? Or we haven't seen it done in a very long time.
Yeah, Western crossover. Right. Or even somebody who's like native English fluent.
Yeah, because we've seen it
being put out
with YG, we've seen it with JYP.
Oh yeah, that's like,
but
obvious for the other labels, but not so much as in SM. You're right.
So my guess with Mark specifically, I feel like that would be the next step after this album, and especially like, and this album one in promotion, laying the groundwork for that path for him in the future, because he, as part of the release of this album, he actually has like a short like podcast series on Apple Music that's going to be starting to release off every Tuesday. What was the name of it?
On Your Mark.
On Your Mark. Where again, he's got these episodes where he's speaking in English about and getting more in depth about the album and the lyrics and of the songs. So you would expect that again, something like Apple Music and an English podcast would be one of those things that's going to start that broader trajectory for him, and in the sense of like looking out beyond just the K-pop industry and what the K-pop industry zone is.
I hate to say he's underutilized because he's definitely like working so hard. But but it's just different. If this is the attempt at crossing over to the US, I don't see it really working as much, or like making that big of a splash on the US airwaves, radio play. I don't see that happening. So it begs the question, is that what they're trying to do with this? Maybe not.
Probably not. But yeah. I maybe this is just me like hoping. Just because, again, with he's already been a Disney Channel star. I feel like, why can't he make his crossover?
Right? I feel like he's like hopped and skipped over many times.
So many.
Like, when is going to be the big leap? Like, jump over.
Yeah. And then just seeing that for him of like, just, you know, as an Asian Canadian in the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, did you have a favorite B-side or other track?
Oh, of course it's Watching TV with Crush.
I mean, duh.
You can't have that beautiful intro of him harmonizing with himself and it not be my hit replay from the album immediately.
Right. Immediately. Yeah, you're just like instant. Like
there's, and I don't know, maybe I just hadn't listened to Crush in a minute, but there was just something that just grabbed me with that song. And it was such a surprise, you know, honestly a surprising collaboration, because I didn't expect it from Crush. You know, especially after what happened with Joy. I didn't expect Crush to collaborate with.
Thought he would steer clear of all SM projects. Hey, you gotta eat, you gotta make money.
Yeah,
SM
true.
pays. Yeah, that one is up there for me. That one might be my number 2 behind 82%.
82%. Yes, yeah. Again, the second, because and then Haechan collab.
I mean,
right.
Chef's kiss.
But what is it about 82% for you though? Like, why is that your second?
I mean, well, kind of similar to what you were saying with Crush. I really enjoy the combination of their two vastly different vocal styles, and the swag, the confidence. I love the beat. You did say it's like the most NCT kind of song, and I guess I've just been on a NCT style kick lately with my 10 hit replay, and now this. I wanna be out. I wanna be dancing. 'Tis the season.
Yeah, and then it felt like a bit of a handoff too, in a sense, because I feel like Haechan, it has, you know, once all the 127 Hyungs kind of have their solo moment. I feel like if you look to the Dreams, the NCT
Haechan,
Dream,
yeah,
Haechan is one of those people, one of those guys in the group that I think is poised to kind of have his solo moment.
He's been holding it down. He's been shining. So I totally agree with that. Would love to see his solo work. Well, anything else we want to say about the album?
No, I think we covered everything.
I know I'm kind of tempted to Daebak or not.
Oh, okay. Actually, you know what? Let's do it, Stephanie.
Let's do it.
Daebak or not.
Daebak or not. It's a tough one.
Yeah, taking into account the audio, the visuals, the concept, everything we've discussed so far. Is it Daebak or not, Steph?
You know how sometimes you can look at a piece of art and know that like effort went into it, but you're not going to buy it. That's kind of how I feel about this project as a whole.
Yeah.
I'm so glad he's being so personal and vulnerable. I'm not looking for that in my K-pop. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So to put it in another way, because he is so personal and vulnerable, this is such a project that is important for Mark. But
for Mark personally.
For Mark. But you know, because it is so personal, for me at least, it's just hard to connect with the journey that he's trying to take us on. Because when you sit down and listen to the album all the way through, it makes sense. But when you're just looking at it by piece, it doesn't necessarily come together, which is important for overall artistic view. But just as a regular listener, it's not necessarily something I want on my rotation, you know. So
Exactly.
that's just where it falls.
Right.
Here.
It's stronger as a project, as a whole album, listened all the way through, versus each track really holding its own, having something to say.
Yeah. So it's a not for me.
Yeah, me too.
Again, this is just one project of the how many more we are going to get from him in the future, and of the how many more that we've had in the past. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I
not,
almost feel bad calling it a knot.
he's got to have a knot in his career to have all the Daybachs, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Not now, Daybach later.
Yes, exactly.
There we go.
Okay, let's wrap it up before the NCTzens come for us.
Yep.
But all the Mark fans in our Slack come for us.
I know, there's so many. Don't tell them about the episode. Okay. Anyways, we're wrapping up now. So let's let our listeners know where they can find you on the socials. You can find me on Instagram at Catchlight27.
And I'm at PD-nim on our K-Popcast Slack, and you can always follow all of us or find all of us at the K-Popcast Slack.
And if you want to support the show, please consider donating to our Ko-fi. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
All right.
Okay, so putting in bets, like how will we see too much on the country music or the Christian music charts? Like what? Like how do we get this? I don't know.
That
For
would be
some
a
reason,
plot twist
Stephanie,
for the summer.
I am so here for that as like this side
How would we
quest for
know?
Mark.
I guess NCTzens would be tracking that kind of thing because I don't listen.
Right. But it would just be so interesting, and then I would love.
Yeah, what if it got into like the Asian American like youth
Exactly.
churches? Like, yeah, I can
Like
see
there's
that.
this whole lane that no K-pop artist has touched, that's just right there for him.
It's ripe for the picking. First fruit. Let's go.